Hey guys, Robert here with you from MudBusters. Today we're going to be installing fender flares on a Pioneer 700 four-seater. We're going to start up here on the front. The first thing you need to do is pull out this rivet right here. Alright, with that rivet removed, you've got this hardware. It's an L bracket, 2 U-nuts, and 2 bolts. It's going to replace that location that we just took the rivet out of in the front. So we take it, the L goes to the inside, put a bolt through, find that U-nut, and we'll leave it loose for right now. We'll tighten it up after we get everything installed. Then you take the front hole on your MudBuster flare, put that bolt in from the bottom, and find the other half of that U-nut. Alright, with that installed, you push this thing up, get it where you like it, make sure your bends are good, push it against this inside edge, and then you can start drilling the rivets from the holes that are in your MudBuster. Just be sure to position it where you like it before you begin. Start at the top, work your way down, and you should be ready to go. A couple at the bottom may be a little harder to get to, but if you'll turn your wheel, shouldn't have any trouble getting to them. Of course, if you do have clearance problems, you can always take that wheel off to get it out of your way. Once you get all your rivets in and have it just like you like it, come on back up to the front, tighten up the hardware, starting with the one on the bottom, then hit the one on the top, pushing up while you do it. And there you go, your uppers are installed. All right, guys, now we're moving on to the back. Back here in the rear, we've opened the rear door and we've accessed the side panel. This panel will need to come off to do the rest of the installation. So we'll jump in there and we will remove 2 rivets. The first rivet here on the outside, pretty easy to get to. The second rivet here on the inside, not so easy to get to. So we'll take them out. This one you can access with a pair of rivet pliers. Comes out pretty easy. The one on the back side, you'll have to use a screwdriver or one of the pry type rivet tools. And once you get those 2 rivets removed, this panel will need to come off. It needs to come down a little bit in the rear and pull towards you. And then it should pop right up. Okay, set it inside. We will put it back on after a while. Okay, now that that panel's removed, grab your rear flare. And you'll see there's a split right here in the flare design. That split's to go around this back tube of your roll cage. You put it on either side, slip it in, and then push it up against the body underneath this bar. And just let it rest for now. And for the hardware for the back, first thing you're going to need is another L bracket. This is the larger of the 2 L brackets in your kit, and it has 2 U-bolts on the same side. What we're going to do with that one is we're going to take 1 bolt, 1 lock nut, and we're going to go back through that rivet hole that you just pulled the rivet out of. This will go to the inside of that bracket that's exposed on the machine. The bolt goes through, and your nut goes on. Not the easiest thing in the world to get a hold of, but a little perseverance, you'll be right there. But you don't want to tighten it up just yet. You want to leave it right where it's sitting. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of the bolts from your kit and we're going to install them into the bottom of that bracket through the 2 holes that are in your MudBuster. You get those bolts started, but we're still at this point not going to tighten anything else up. Okay, with those 2 bolts, you can kind of see how it's going to fit. And you'll see that there are holes that go on either side of this small bar up front. That's where these little U-straps come in. We put the U-straps on top. We're going to run a bolt down through the top of them. We're going to put a washer and a lock nut on the bottom of each of the bolt locations. And we're going to do that for all 3 of the straps up front. But at this point, we're still not going to tighten anything up. And you want to make sure too that this is pushed up against the body on the inside. Keeps everything in place. All right, when you get all those in place, you can go ahead and tighten everything here up. Okay, with those all tightened, that pretty well takes care of the front, and we can go back to the back and we can address the rear installation. All right, now for the rear section. You'll see that this flap goes up against the body, the back, and you push it up. You want to start at the front, drill the rivet location, and then move on and continue to drill. Before you drill anything, you need to be absolutely certain that these all line up with this lip, because it's not real wide, and if you miss it, it's not going to end up with good installation. Now at this point, if it's out too far, you can loosen some of the hardware, push it in a little further. Loosen this clamp right here, push it in just a little bit, and then tighten her back up. There, much better. And you'll come in from the bottom, hit your first rivet hole, drill it, insert a rivet, and then continue. Now, there is one there that's very difficult to get to if you're not in the right position. You may find it's easier to put the bed up to get to it. Shouldn't need to, but you can if you do need to. And from the back side, do the same thing. Just be sure that all of your rivet locations will hit the body. If they don't back here, you can always move it in and out because of this split just a little bit and put it where you need it. That's it for the upper flare. Let's move on to the lower. All right, moving on to the very last piece. Back here in the back with the bed raised, you'll have a lower flap that goes right here, but it goes on the inside. With something like this, you need to put it up where you think it's gonna go, and you'll kind of feel it fall into place. As it goes all the way against this inside edge, and it sits all the way against this lip up here. Once you get it, go ahead and mark your holes with a pen or a marker from the back side. And once you get them marked, you can come in and drill your holes for the rivets to go into in a moment. Okay, with those holes drilled, take your flap, take 4 rivets from your kit, and from the top, install your rivets. There we go, guys. You close your bed, make sure everything fits like you like it. Hey guys, almost forgot one thing. Here, finishing up, this panel in the back. It slides in between your MudBuster and this bar, rolls down into place, and then you will reinstall this one rivet. The one in the back, you've got a bolt in that location now, but this one rivet and the 2 clips made on this piece will hold you in position for a long, long time. And then get out there and enjoy that ride.